Good evening. It is Monday, October 2nd, 2023. Greencastle, Indiana on the People Pathways bicycle and walking trail. And we've been doing an evening ride. Decided to turn on the GoPro before we call it a day. Do just a short video. I'm riding an e-bike, a HeyBike Brawn. And Elizabeth is behind me with her Schwinn mountain bike that she got for 69 bucks at Walmart. And we're using the Pi wireless communication system. It's Bluetooth based, gives us about a quarter mile, between 2/10 of a mile and a quarter mile of wireless range. And we can hear each other just like we were side by side, even if she's way behind or I'm way behind. So let's continue. Going through some big bumps on the People Pathways. Got some bad ridges. I don't know if they're tree roots or just compression of the asphalt in hot weather. But I wish they would level it out because it's a very harsh bump and high enough to trip people if they're not paying attention to where they're walking. Tonight I've probably got my GoPro pointing just a little bit higher than I normally do. So we'll give that a try and see how it looks. We are heading north on the People Pathways. We're going to ride out to the train station, see if we can get lucky enough to catch a train coming through. We don't want to go too far out or it'll get dark on us like it did last night. I don't know if you can see it here, but they've done some work on the pavement right here. This is what I used to call the mud flat, and I don't know if they repaved because they tore it up some during installation of water pipes or what, but not the smoothest pavement, but they've patched it a few places here. The problem they've got back there in the area I call the mud flats, they have not provided proper drainage. So the water all drains down and makes it a small pond. And it collects all sorts of mud and gunk. And then as it's drying out, it's muddy. And it's been that way for a long time, ever since I've ridden People's Pathways or walked People's Pathways far enough to encounter it. We're paralleling Albin Pond Road in Greencastle. And this is up on the north side of town. There's a number of places where they've patched it with asphalt, so I don't know if they damaged that when they were working on the putting in pipes or not. Haven't been through here enough to remember. Quite a few patches here. I don't know if any of these were here the last time I rode through. There's sand around the edges of it, so. Were they?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, there's mud.
I guess I was.
Those are just new.
Yeah, the mud flats, that patch is new.
Definitely.
But I didn't see any indication of drainage pipe
I didn't either.
or drainage mitigation to keep the mud flats away.
Let's see here.
Let's see here. I'm just gonna go up this sidewalk since we're gonna cut over on a side street. Well, maybe we're not gonna cut over on a side street. I think we'll go up toward that middle school. No, it's not a middle school. Grade school or primary school, I forget what they call it these days. It's Tizonigas School. Elementary, okay.
Pioneer one. I had to.
We'll go up through the neighborhood that's close to the school. They've got a nice walkway path, paved path around the school. Little kid says, dang. Drop down on the road here, and if I go straight ahead, it'll be at Tezonica School. And there's a path down through the woods. It's pretty nice. But if we take a detour there, it'll be dark by the time we get to the train station. I started mapping this on Ride with GPS. It's an app. And back when I turned on the GoPro, I turned on the Ride with GPS. I'm going to hang out at the stop sign here while you catch up.
Whoa!
Doing okay?
Yeah, there's a tiny ankle biter barking behind
Oh,
the...
he didn't run out for you, did he?
No, it just startled me. I thought, ooh, I'm going to start. Tiny wolf. Very tiny wolf.
I'll let you get ahead of me here. I'll ride behind you on the street.
Am I taking the left? Am I taking the left?
Go down here and make a left, and then make a right.
Got it. Car.
Same route we took the other day.
All right.
Boy, it's getting dark so early. It's really catching me off guard. And is the time change coming up this weekend? Oh, that's going to be depressing when that comes. It's going to be getting dark a little after 5 p.m. Oh, there's Kitty over there. I don't know if you can see it or not. I angle the camera right. There he is, guarding his property.
Sorry, cat.
Yep, you got a car that's going to be coming up behind you.
Thank you. Appreciate the heads up.
Yeah, this is about the range, worst case scenario of the Cena Pie. Where that car is up there, that's where Elizabeth is. I see it. And she's probably maybe a 1/10 of a mile away. The range is better out in the country, and I would attribute that to how many background signals are on the Bluetooth radio band. Because there's going to be a lower signal to noise ratio where your signal can't clear as well if there's a lot of other communication on that frequency, which you would encounter in town. The range is pretty good though out in the country. Got a car coming up behind us.
Thank you. Car coming in front of you.
You're going to make a right at the stop sign. There you go. Cut off early. That's smart. I'm going to do the same thing. Department of Public Works for Greencastle. I think this is where they fill up the trucks, get fuel. A little bit of turbulent pavement here, where the road's been plastered over 1 billion times with patches. But this keeps us out of or away from traffic as compared to going all the way up to North Jackson, which is Highway 231. This will take us across the tracks near the Putnam County Museum. Bump there. They're passing something noisy. Oh, I hear it. 13 mile per hour. I've got the bike set on pedal assist 2 at the moment, which is good for up to about 15 miles per hour. Usually between about 10 to 15, or a bit less is where I like to ride. The bike will easily do 28 mile per hour. That's what I've got it governed to. We're going to go across here once we get clear. They said they were doing construction on this road today. I don't see any signs of anything being done. Looking to the left and looking off to the right. There's Elizabeth. Yeah, I don't see where anything's been done. I will hang out here a bit. We like to play it super safe crossing these roads. Don't mind waiting. Although I'm getting a little thirsty. I'm glad I've got my lemonade on ice cubes with me. It would be nice if Greencastle had a bike trail that would like bring you up to the museum. We sometimes come out to this train station when we get up on the north side, because off of the people pathways it's not all that far. Did a long ride last night all the way from Greencastle out through Fillmore and Coatesville, and it was getting dark on us when we got out to Amo in Hendricks County. I think so. Well, you wanted ice cream, so we went all the way to Amo. This is some bumpy gravel. It's got a lot of railroad ballast mixed in with it, and those are pretty good sized rocks. I can't really call that stuff gravel. Mixed in with chunks of concrete here and there, and tie plates and spikes and other assorted railroad hardware. Alright, let's get up here and park the bike right here. I'll turn on the GoPro if we get a train coming through. So far we've not had any luck from this location, at least when we've been on bicycles. And what I'll do, I'll get a quick video, if I've got enough light here with the iPhone, of the bicycle setup. Yeah, we'll turn off the GoPro and I'll do a quick video with the iPhone Just showing the bike a little bit. I don't think I've done that yet. And we will be back. And we're taking a little break here at the railroad station on the north side of Greencastle, right along 231. We're just on the west side of 231. There's an old train station here. Pretty historic place. Could be in better repair, but it's still being actively used by CSX. And here's the bike I'm riding, which you never see on the GoPro videos. It's an electric bike, a moderately priced one. It's a HeyBike Brawn, B-R-A-W-N. And I got it on sale for, I think it was $1,529. And they included the fenders and the rack, which are normally an extra expense. So I kind of watched for the best deal I could get. I've looked at a lot of electric bikes. This one seemed to have the features I was most interested in. It's got 180 millimeter disc brakes. There's a 750 watt motor in there. So it's a class 3 e-bike. Although you can set it up as a class 1 or 2 through the app. Here's the tail light that came with it. Get that turned on. That's the tail light that came with it. It doesn't run off the main battery. However, the headlight does run off the main battery. And it's got a cutoff pattern similar to low beams on a car. You can see it's pretty bright there. And as I move up and down, that's the cutoff of the beam. So it's got a nice flat cutoff, similar to low beams on an automobile. And I like that because I can adjust that light so that it comes up right to the horizon and it won't blind any oncoming motorists. There's the GoPro. I like to record rides on occasion. I've got a supplemental light. That's a little everyday carry flashlight. They call it an EDC flashlight. It will do 13,000 lumens, which is incredibly bright. But I run this generally on the lowest setting, and you can get days of light off of that thing on the low setting. I use it just as a little bit of fill up in front of the bike because the main light pattern of the bike is out here, and that throws a little bit of light right in front of me, which I like. It's 7 speeds, Shimano 7 speeds. Most of these e-bikes tend to be 7 or 8 speed. And there's the display. I've put 163 miles on the bike in the last month or so. Showing my battery voltage, I think it was at 50% when I took off earlier. And I get a good 45 miles out of the battery. That's running it down to about 20%. At that point I recharge it. I've added a few lights for safety. I've got side marker lights, amber side marker lights. That's just a handy little light. And it runs forever on a charge. I've got a rock form mount for my iPhone, and this works in conjunction with a case that's got kind of a keyed hole in the back of it. So you just put it against there, give it about an 1/8 turn, and it locks the phone in right at that location. It's actually kind of mounted upside down on my road bike. I've got it where my iPhone is up here, but this thing already has a display, so I rotated it to where I put my iPhone down on this. Very handy. This is the headlight button for the bike. We've got the horn, which is pretty loud. It's got shock suspension in the front, and those have a lot more travel than what I've seen on most bikes. Most bikes, the suspension comes up to right about here. This is a pretty tall suspension piece, almost more like a dirt bike or a motorcycle. And maybe that's why they've designed the headlight to look like something that goes on a motorcycle. And I've added a couple things over here. I've got an inclinometer just on steep hills, just curious what the grade is. Generally it's on the steeper hills between 10 and 15%. This bike has no problem taking me up a 15% grade. That's just a little key fob thing for that tail light I've added. and it's got a turn signal. So it's got left and right turn signals on it, and I can turn on and off and set different modes of the tail light with this button right here. And it's also got an alarm, which I just armed. Now it's armed, and if I bump the bike, it gives a warning. But if you bump it again, all hell breaks loose. And that is so loud, it hurts my ears. So now when you activate the alarm, of course the light goes out. Turn that light back on. There's a lot of different modes to this light. Oh, anything else? It's got a dropper seat post on it. If you press this button, the seat post will pop up all the way. Or if you're sitting on the bike, you can let your weight down on the seat, drops the seat all the way down to here. And if you're going through any real rough terrain, that's when you want to drop the seat. You can see that very well. That is the remote for my GoPro right there. I've just got it strapped on with a wrist strap. And that's so I can just press that button, turn the GoPro on and off. And I've got a lock. I forget who makes this thing. It's a tank of a lock. That's the best one I could find that has a fairly small footprint on the bike. Got my lemonade right there. And is there anything else? Oh, I did add a mirror to it. I didn't want one of the mirrors that extends out from the handlebars because this bike's pretty narrow handlebars, and that's nice if you're going between stuff and don't want to snag a handlebar. So I didn't want a mirror that would have been more useful out here, but this is good enough. I can kind of lean over and look back and see where Elizabeth is. And I did add the HeyBike rack to this. I found some good saddlebags for this. We're thinking about going camping with just putting the supplies on the bicycle. And saddlebags make that a good possibility. Well, let's see if I can think of anything else. It's got a nice guard here to protect the derailleur. Single gear up front, 7 on the cassette in back. Pretty standard setup. And that's about it. It's getting dark on us. Hoping for a train, but we're going to kick back and just relax a little bit, take it easy, and we'll switch back to the GoPro for just a little bit on part of the ride home. And again, this bike is a HeyBike Brawn. Good evening. GoPro's back on. It's a little bit later into the evening. It's 8:37 p.m. We've just been sitting around chatting, waiting on a train. No train tonight. We're going to ride up toward downtown on the way home. Right through this bumpy gravel and concrete and stuff. Elizabeth, make sure all your lights are turned on.
They are.
We'll come up here, I'll make sure your headlight's on solid. Leaving the train station in downtown, well, not downtown Greencastle, north of downtown, on the CSX rail line. Railroad is very quiet tonight. Usually in that amount of time, a couple of trains would have come through, but Monday night's being very quiet on the railroad. I don't know, sometimes there's quite a few trains on a Monday evening. cooled off quite a bit.
How'd you get over there so fast?
I transported. Here comes Elizabeth. Here comes Elizabeth. Yeah, strobe is a little much at night. You don't want to strobe at night. Well, I mean, I've got a strobe on top of my head on the light here, but yeah, for a main riding light, you want it solid at night. Oh, you got it switched okay.
It's working now. Go ahead, you lead.
All right. And let's roll. Got the bike set on pedal assist 1, so about 9 miles an hour is my top speed. Riding low and slow. Actually not low riding, this bike sits pretty tall, pretty high. Yep. Oh. Yep. They've got little dancing skulls on their projector on their house. And they got a lot of decorations. Pumpkins in the yard. It's a little dark to see it, but I don't know if it's your brakes making that noise, kind of a ding ding or tick tick tick. I'll have to take a look at that. If it's a simple enough brake adjustment, I can probably do it for you. I had Chris Slagle with Top Hat Cycle readjust my brakes and derailleur. That was last week, and that made a lot of difference. The bike is now quiet, no brake noise. It only took him about 7 or 8 minutes to do both. Better results with a professional than if I tried to do it myself. I've never adjusted disc brakes. I'm old school with the old style rim brakes. That's what I used to have. That's what I grew up with. Rim brakes and baseball cards flapping in the spokes on our Schwinn Stingray bicycles with a banana seat. We thought those were so cool. Dollar General's 1 block over to the east. So we're 1 block west of North Jackson, 231. Quiet road. Rarely a car. What decorations? Oh, we got a dragon decoration here. I don't know if you can see it very well in the dark, but one of those inflatables. I can hear the motor going, inflating it. Yeah, some people go all out on the Halloween decorations, which I think is kind of cool. They probably add a little bit every year tuck it away in the attic for the next year. Kind of a gradual grade. Greencastle downtown sits on high ground on kind of a ridge. I'll stop up here at the stop sign and wait on you. Take your time, we're in no rush. Well, a little bit of a rush. I think it's going to be even warmer tomorrow, like up to 88 degrees. Yeah, maybe we should head out for an early ride tomorrow. Take advantage of the warm weather. It might be kind of cool. I don't know. We'll think of something. We're just going to go up to the corner of downtown around Almost Home, Bridges Restaurant, that area. That's probably where I'll end the GoPro recording. Is this the street we want? Nope, I think it's one too early. Good evening. Got the lingering effects of that cold from a week ago. Very annoying. Yeah, here's where we're going to left. Go up past the Banographic building on the left. I think most restaurants are closed on Monday night, so I think downtown's going to be pretty dead. Oh, more decorations. Uh-oh. Really happy dogs. The dog didn't go past the property, so maybe they've got an invisible fence. Got the Banographic building on the left, Shuey's Appliances on the right. Up ahead is Almost Home. Oh, that's fine. You rode over 20 miles yesterday, so
yeah,
you deserve a little bit of a rest. We're at North Jackson Street. Not much traffic here. Got one oncoming car. Wait till he clears out. Downtown Greencastle, Indiana. And we're clear. Let's go. I see people in there at the bar at Almost Home. Maybe they are open on Monday night. Don Julio's open. Bridges looks like they're closed. Someday we're going past Bridges on our left, Courthouse is on our right. And our Starbucks, which closes at 4 p.m. now. I miss the days when it was open in the evening. A little Yui here. Empty space. Well, obviously, Almost Home is open. I think they've got Monday night is music night at the bar there at Almost Home. That's what they're doing tonight.
Oh, yeah. So
Derek's over there.
Derek's over there.
Well, heck. If I can avoid coughing, let's just cruise up the sidewalk here. I'll just end my GoPro recording up here. We can stick our head in and see if Derek's still here. Say hi. Passing Don Julio on the right. Almost home up ahead. Very nice restaurant and bar. Open mic night. Yeah, Derek posted about that earlier. Maybe it's Tuesday night before they're closed. No, $2 off pints, open mic night. It's Monday night, they're playing music. I don't know if you can see very well on the camera. Let's turn the headlight off. Yeah, they're in there playing music. Well, we'll end our GoPro recording right here. And have a good night, everybody.